Hello, and welcome to Mortals and Portals, a Pathfinder real play podcast. I am your host and GM, Zach, and joining me at the table is...
Adam, and I play Jhuls, an Azur Keti Bard.
I'm Joel, and I play Dax, a Kobold Rogue.
Brian, I play Ryu, Tiefling Magus.
Taryn,
Taryn, who do you play?
Taryn and I play Waltz.
Not
Good
really
job.
Sure what the voices were that time.
Yeah, they're kind of all over the place. Joel joined in, but he didn't. I don't know if he necessarily followed.
I joined in the
Adam's
last
lead.
episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're an episode behind, buddy.
That's all right.
Yeah, threw me off. Joel.
I think they know who you
partook.
play. Maybe. I don't know. Cool. Well, last time on Mortals and Portals, Digsby's crew, sans Ryu, came up with a new plan. You know, they're like, you know what? If Desmar's stronger than Forgoth, I don't think we're going to beat him. Plus, we got to go save Ryu. That's going to take a while. Let's just cut out the middleman, go straight to Scalekeep, steal the Arcanor, break the spell, sever Sindor's link to the Drakes, diminish his power that way, and then take him on after the fact. And then let's send Jhuls to go get Ryu from the ship that has likely departed Carapan. So what we got brewing here is a nautical adventure for the pirate Jhuls and a heist mission for the thief Dax and the... I don't know what you want. What is Waltz? Just a...
He's a
just
human,
a guy.
yeah.
He's just a human that just likes to interact with people and put himself in crazy situations.
Just a bro being a dude.
Just a bro being a dude. And that sounds like a good combo. And meanwhile, Ryu interacted with Sindor, and Sindor revealed all kinds of crazy things, like the Erikai aren't even from Keldora, they're from some other planet, maybe another timeline, another dimension, and they arrived here in an event called the Displacement, which, trust me, there's tons of lore behind that, but we don't got time for that. But basically, it's some event where a bunch of people from different timelines, planets, nobody really knows, all showed up in Keldora at once, and the Erikai didn't necessarily know that because they're under some sort of curse that like disillusioned them and made them oppressed by the Fangdom. And apparently Ryu is some sort of entity known as the Unbound, which is the one chance of upending the curse by either overthrowing the Fangdom or killing the crone that set the curse, which is, according to Sindor, an impossible feat. So basically they need to kill the Emperor, upend the Fangdom, who knows? And Sindor said, hey, Ryu, I can teach you how to channel a ley line because the Unbound can apparently channel ley lines directly, and all the other Erikai were channeling ley lines through their sword. So apparently Ryu's special. So look at that, Ryan. All that sitting out, all that just like watching people play. You're special now. You're the star. So good for you.
It's like
Hey,
my
Ryan's
mom told me the whole
check
time.
it out.
Yeah, tell your mom, like, hey mom, check it out. I'm the chosen one or something kind of in this podcast. Yeah, so that's what's going on. And Sindor's like, so hey man, like, does that sound cool? Do you want to overthrow the Fangdom? Because I want to. Ryu is like, yeah, I would love to do that. And he goes, cool. I'm going to go kill your friends first, and I'll get your sword, and I'll be right back. And Ryu's like, and then he just kind of left. And yeah, that's where we enter the session.
Wait, hold on a second.
He said, well, hold on. I was kind of tracking with what you're doing until that part. Hold on. So yeah. And we're going to start our session with Jhuls.
That's me. Okay, I'm ready.
So Jhuls, you are riding on the back of Smith, who, in case you guys didn't know, this was revealed in the Metacast. Smith, you think that's a basic name, but we spell it SCZYMTH. So it's very, very
Wait,
cool.
that's serious? I thought that was a joke this whole time.
No, it's dead serious, bro.
It's canon.
So Smith. Yeah, but it's not basic. It's super cool, super fantasy, super Tolkien-esque. That's what we're going for here. So it's pronounced Smith. So you're riding on the back of Smith. You're flying through the air. The sun is starting to rise. You're flying over Pagos, and over time you start to find a river that divides Pagos from Gainmar, the desert region. And from your high-up perspective, you can clearly see the harsh divide. And as you fly, you can start to see a city built around this river, with half of the city being on the Gainmar side and half of the city being on the Pagos side. Can you roll me a perception check?
23.
All right, so you sort of guide Smith down a ways, kind of getting a closer look, and you can see that the city is just bustling with activity. A lot of Drake Knights shuttling boxes, loading and unloading ships into the city. You can tell it's somewhat fortified, doesn't necessarily have a wall around it, but you can tell it's like a very critical location for the Drake Knights, and based on like what you've heard, this is clearly a strategic location where they export cargo to and from the island. So you can tell you are on track and flying over Carapan after exiting the tunnel a while ago that connected to Forgost's lair.
Well, Jhuls is definitely glad to be getting out of the snowy climate, because who likes the snow? If you like snow, you're crazy. Yeah, I think he's also enjoying a little slice of home, seeing the ships and the unloading and loading of cargo, and just giving him some good memories. But then he kind of switches his mind back to trying to figure out where Ryu might be. I'll scope it out and I guess look at the ships that are there to see if there's anything that looks probably big enough to transport someone, I'm assuming of great importance. They wouldn't throw him on a little boat or something easily, sinkable or able to be taken over.
Yeah, so with your perception check, as you're flying over and kind of gliding over the docks, you can tell just by the activity with the one ship in the port that they're unloading that ship. So if there was any ships being prepared for departure, they're no longer there. Doesn't look like anything is getting ready for a voyage. There wouldn't necessarily be any clear indicator that there's a ship that Ryu's being loaded on, and if there was, it's already gone.
So my gut is telling me that if this ship is unloading for as long as Ryu's been ahead of us, they probably wouldn't keep him around. So there's a good chance he's already taken off. So I'm going to steer Smith towards the sea and head out, at least for a little bit. And if I see a ship, go for that. And if I am not seeing anything, I'll probably, turn around and maybe intercept them if I don't feel like they've taken off.
Gotcha, yeah, so like rather than risk going down there and like really trying to confirm it and maybe being caught, you're just kind of gonna keep
wasting more time.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. All right, so you veer Smith out towards the sea, and as you kind of see the sun rising and glistening over the water, and you exit the coast of the island and enter the natural climate, which appears to be closer to summer in terms of season, you maybe get kind of a reminiscent feel of home, and just now you're over the water watching the beautiful sunrise. And although you have a lot of dire things at stake, with all you've been having going on in the past few days, this is probably the most at peace that Jhuls has felt.
Yeah, and I doubt he's ever ridden on a hippogriff, so just being in his natural habitat, but also on this majestic beast soaring through the sky, he's got a big smile on his face right now.
So Jhuls, as you're kind of soaking all that in and thinking all these positive thoughts for a while, suddenly you hear Smith get a little restless and his feathers kind of stand up on his spine and his eyes grow wide, and then he starts to disobey your commands in a way and starts to soar upwards even higher.
Whoa, what are you doing? Smith, go down.
Do you want to try and command him to go down and roll an animal handling check?
Yeah.
Sorry, command an animal.
Still have that +2, Zach?
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, you do.
13.
He continues to ascend and starts to break the clouds. It's almost getting hard to breathe for you. And then he starts to level back out, and he's rearing his head back and forth frantically, snorting nervously.
Smith, what is it?
Can you roll me a perception check with a +2 circumstance bonus?
12.
Okay. So for a moment, you're just kind of staring at Smith, wondering like what the problem is, very confused. And then you see him staring very precisely at something, and you follow his gaze and see beneath you the wide wingspan of a red drake flying over the water with someone atop its back. It looks like almost a tree or a shrub, some sort of construct that reminds you almost of the creatures you fought when you first encountered Sindor that he spawned, flying atop this drake that is soaring beneath you. And suddenly it's crystal clear why Smith was so restless, knowing that drakes are the natural predator of a hippogriff, and he seemed to have sensed him coming and got you out of harm's way.
Ah, good eye, boy.
And this drake is soaring towards the island of Nisserine.
I'll kind of watch the drake fly by and have some concern fill my thoughts for our friends back in Nisserine, but quickly refocus to the task at hand and grip Smith a little bit tighter and say, let's get Ryu, boy.
Smith pins his wings back and sort of picks up his pace, and after clearing the sight of this drake, using its momentum and height, starts to descend downward and just barreling at a higher speed, and then opens its wings back up and continues soaring. And after soaring through the air for a little bit while longer, clearing the sight of this drake, you start to see a ship on the horizon.
There, Smith. That has to be what they've called him. And then I'll attempt to guide Smith lower. So, considering how far they made it from the port, Jhuls would assume that they're all still very busy, the crew rigging and setting stuff up for the journey, that they're not probably too preoccupied with having eyes like up in a crow's nest or like behind them and around the ship. So he's going to attempt to dive down behind the ship, kind of closer to the water.
So kind of using like the background of the water as a way to blend in rather than being like completely silhouetted against like the horizon, so to speak.
Yeah.
So you descend downward. Smith starts to graze against the water, his talons dragging, leaving a trail, and then lifts up just a little bit, and you're directly behind the ship.
How close to the ship is Smith?
How close do you want to get?
Close enough to jump onto the back.
Oh man, yeah. You can try and get up there. Yeah.
All right.
I don't like how you said try.
Well, you can
These
fly
Jhuls
up
can
close
swim.
enough that Jhuls thinks he could jump for sure.
Yeah, see? I don't like that.
What am I rolling for?
I don't like that word.
Athletics, acrobatics?
I
do
sure
you
hope
want?
Azerketti know how to swim.
You want to jump forward from like
Yup.
Smith onto the ship, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you can roll me an athletics check.
23.
Ooh.
All right.
Stay low and stay towards the back of the ship. I'll be back as soon as I can.
Roll me a command and animal check.
All right. 18.
So, with your 23 athletics check, you start to stand up on Smith's back. He gets very close to the back of the ship, and you step up on his shoulder blades, leap off. He sort of tilts his back upwards even to give you a boost, and you lunge outward and grab onto the back of the ship, and you're hanging freely. And Smith sort of veers off to the side and hovers low behind the ship.
I'll look back to Smith and give him a little nod, and then I'll start to climb.
I almost picture, like, for no reason at all, you pull a dagger out and put it in your mouth while you're climbing, because that's just what pirates do, I imagine.
Yeah, I just have a dagger that I've never had before.
And with that, we'll cut to Waltz and Dax. You guys have been walking down this long tunnel for a while that you know leads to Skill Keep. You know that Jhuls is just hopefully left on Smith and is going to get Ryu. And you kind of just, have a moment to talk to one another, reflect on this long walk you have going on. So what are you guys up to?
I think that Dax is pretty hurried, racing the clock at this point. Waltz, do you have any idea what to expect when we get to Scale Keep?
No, to be honest, I was hoping that you had a little bit better idea about this whole plan.
That's what I was afraid of. I think we have a few options. We can try to sneak in the whole time, or we could try to bluff our way in. I mean, you seem pretty good at that.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of tough to come up with a plan when we don't know what we're dealing with. So I think we just lay low, do what we can to scope it out, and we'll form a plan from there.
I mean, they say the last thing you want to do in a situation like this is improv, but I'm afraid without any idea of what we're actually getting into, I think that's all we can do. I think you're right. I think we just stay as quiet as we can, get as close as we can, and just see what we can find out.
Yeah, I need to make sure I'm not leaving any trails, and I'll notice that I'm still bleeding kind of bad, and I'll try and heal myself using lay on hands.
I feel like this is as good of time as any, which I should have said last episode. You guys are level 3. And I know you guys know that. I just forgot to tell the audience. Yeah, you guys are level 3.
Yay!
So yeah, go ahead, go on Path Builder,
Woo.
switch that little
Even
thing to
me.
level 3, unlock that stuff, and just, have fun.
3 is the one after 2, right?
I think so.
I know it was when I went to school. I don't know if they changed it. But yeah, you guys totally earned it. You killed a drake, and you fought like some of those weird constructs that Sindor made. You fought some wolves. You did a bunch of crazy role play. Did I say it right, Ryan?
I don't know.
Wolves?
That
Do I
time
need
sounded good.
I need
Yeah, I
confirmation
think so.
from the
I'm
listeners.
working on it. I stay up
Let us
all night
know.
and I say it 100 times before I go to bed.
99, 100. Good night.
Yeah, I'm really proud of you guys. Now you can die at level 3. It'll be great. So yes, Waltz, you can heal yourself.
Okay, I want to use lay on hands on myself. So maybe as I'm walking, I notice like my arm is really damaged, and I'll kind of spend some time healing that, and then notice the same thing with just another injury or wound on my body, and try and address that as much as I can.
Yeah, so kind of as Dax was talking, you just kind of raise your arm up on each of your wounds, and that magical aura starts to glow, and instantly you start to see your wounds heal themselves.
Waltz, you're getting pretty in tune with that.
Yeah, it's all feeling a little bit more natural. Seems like it's much easier to channel now. It actually starting to feel a lot stronger too.
Yeah, that's good to hear, man. It's good to hear.
As we're walking, if I can, Zach, not necessarily look to the sky, but kind of ponder that for a moment, because I think it kind of gets lost that like I just have these, magical powers that are still relatively out of nowhere. So I just want to kind of do any kind of meditating or reach out with my thoughts to any kind of like higher being as we're walking, and just kind of ask for help or guidance or something.
Yeah, roll a religion check.
Deal. 24, Zach. Eat that. I'm God now.
Yeah, you unlocked God mode. Waltz, as you do that, you feel like multiple streams of conscious reach out to you. They almost feel like it's your conscious, like your memories. But what's odd, and you can't explain it, it feels like these memories haven't happened yet. And they're sort of intertwining with one another. And as you're reflecting, you can almost visualize these memories. And one of them shows all of Digsby's crew together, victorious, reunited, in Scale Keep with a dead Sindor before you. One of these memories is with you weeping, holding on to the hand of another member of Digsby's crew, though it's hazy and you can't tell who it is, with destruction all around you. And another memory feels like the final moments of your own life, but one in which you're protecting someone you love. And they're in this weird concoction, this weird mixture. You are trying to latch on to any of these specific memories, figuring out which one is the most prominent. And it's very uncertain right now, but you feel like whatever path you're on is undefined. But you feel like what you're doing is something you have to do.
Yeah, that's also a lot to take in. I guess Waltz during this walk will keep contemplating or keep bouncing back and forth between each of those possibilities and, playing possible events that lead up to each in his head. So maybe Waltz is kind of quiet for now as we just kind of rush over to Scale Keep.
Used to being alone, Dax is pretty comfortable in the silence. So seeing that Waltz is kind of lost in his own head, Dax isn't too thrown off by that, and we'll just kind of comfortably sit in that silence and hurry towards Scale Keep.
Can you each roll me a perception check? And Waltz, roll me with a -2 circumstance bonus because you're fixating on these thoughts.
I got a 22.
What'd you get, Waltz?
12.
So Waltz, you're just contemplating on these thoughts. You can feel such like raw emotion from each of these possibilities, which is just very perplexing to feel like the raw emotion of victory, defeat, death, all of these things kind of ringing through you. And you are basically tunnel vision, can't, no pun intended because you're in a tunnel, but you can't really pick up on anything else. And then Dax, as you're sort of enjoying the silence, you feel very at home, like you're in the dark lands of Dracus. Then you start to hear the sounds of chatter between at least two different beings echoing down the caverns. They sound upset, aggressive. You can hear the sound of something dragging against the ground.
Okay, I will turn to Waltz with, put my finger up to my mouth to shush, and then slow my pace to quiet myself down, and try to eavesdrop on the conversation as we get closer.
And you do hear the sounds growing closer to you, like they're also coming your way.
Okay. In that case, I will look for any cracks or nooks, crannies in the wall that we can kind of duck into.
Yeah, you sort of see like a boulder kind of up against the wall that you could maybe tuck behind both of you.
Hey, Waltz, behind here. There's people coming.
I'll immediately, without saying anything, just follow suit.
Can you both roll me stealth checks?
You bet. That is a 17.
Oh, 7.
And with that, we'll cut back over to Jhuls. So Jhuls, you're hanging on to the back of the ship. What are you going to do?
I'd like to climb up and peer over the poop deck.
What?
That's what the back of the boat's called, the upper deck above the captain's quarters. I looked it up. It's the poop deck.
All right, cool.
I'd like to peer over that and specifically pay attention to, obviously, first off, like if anyone's right there, I don't want to just hop up on deck, but also just see what everyone's doing.
All right, roll me a stealth check with a +2 circumstance bonus because what you're doing is definitely unexpected.
22.
Okay.
Nice.
So yeah, you climb up very cautiously. This is something you do often because you would always jump off your ship and then swim in the ocean for a while and just hang out with the fish and then climb back up. So this is a very familiar motion to you. So you climb very silently, put your hands on the base of the floor of the poop deck, and are going to start to peer across the poop deck. Can you roll me a perception check for looking at the poop deck? The deck of poop.
That is a 13.
All right. So your visibility is not so great because the back of the ship, the poop deck, is higher than the main deck. I don't know what that's called.
Sure.
But you know what I mean? So you can't necessarily see a lot because it doesn't appear that many people are up there other than just one guy kind of captaining the ship, holding on to the wheel. And then beyond that, you can hear a lot of people yelling at one another. You can hear the sounds of bottles breaking and just a lot of commotion on the main deck.
So there's just one guy captaining the ship.
You get the sense that the person captaining the ship is not actually the captain because it is a gnome and they're very short and they're barely reaching the wheel and they're sort of just cranking it to the side, and you can tell they're more doing it out of a panic and they're not very comfortable doing it and they're just steering it back and forth.
Are they wearing a hat?
They have a bandana on.
Well, that doesn't help me. Can I climb around the ship? Scooch to the left?
You want to do like the Assassin's Creed, like endless scooching on the lips?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly like that.
Yeah, for sure. You can totally do that. So, are you going to the starboard or port side?
I suppose the port side.
All right. Wrong choice, but okay, go for it.
Oh, crap.
The port side is covered in bees.
Not those sea bees.
Bees on the poop deck.
The port side has a Turesque next to it, so.
Ah, crap. Am I doing another what?
Yeah, roll me an athletics check.
Okay. That is a 24.
Cool. So you're kind of expertly scooting across this lip to the port side. How far are you trying to go?
And just so you know, Zach, I'm going as far as I need to before there's enough busyness where I feel like I could just hop over the railing. And
on the quarter
my
deck?
mindset, yeah, and my mindset is that like the best place to hide is in plain sight because I know how to be on a ship. If I just just hop in the fray.
Yeah.
Heck
People wouldn't notice.
Love it.
Yeah. I'll wait till I hop over, but maybe like when I see it's busy enough, like look for a job where I can like insert myself.
All right. So you're climbing along the lip until you get close to the quarterdeck, and as you're approaching it, you clearly see there's a lot of like infighting going on the quarterdeck. A lot of people pushing each other, like, "No, I'm captain now. Now, it's my turn." And he goes, "No, I'm next in command. I've been a Drake Knight longer." And then you hear like, "Yeah, you've been a Drake Knight longer, but I've been on ships my entire life. Bolgru would have picked me if he got the chance. Yeah, but he did it." And they're just shoving each other.
I'll definitely use that commotion to hop over the railing.
All right, you kind of swing up over the railing, land on the ship, maybe dust your clothes off for a moment. What do you do?
I'll pop my shirt a little bit, readjust it, and then look around to find the stairs leading to the lower deck.
All right, and with that, we'll cut to Ryu.
That's me.
That's you, Ryan. So Ryu, sitting outside your cell is a Drake Knight watching you. You've been sitting there in silence for a while. What's Ryu thinking, knowing that Sindor just left to go kill his friends and get his sword?
I guess if Ryu's being honest with himself, like, he's always just considered anyone a comrade before a friend or anything, and that's really no different here. These are still people that he's more or less just met, like, days ago, and Ryu himself just kind of has his old goals and stuff like that he's trying to get to, and sure, like, he's enjoyed having these comrades that have been with him, and they've been obviously super helpful and along this journey, but I think at this point too, he doesn't even know if they are concerned with his whereabouts. In his mind, he's like, no, they should definitely just be continuing the mission, like, mission is the mission sort of thing. So I guess that's what's going on in Ryu's mind right now.
All right. So the guard that's been watching you has just sort of been sitting silently. You can tell his breathing is a little shaky, like he breathes very loudly, almost like he's a little bit scared that he has to watch you. And as you're taking note of his shaky breath, something sort of pings in your mind as you feel like above you, you feel a familiar aura. An aura that for a while you were concerned about once you realized they could also channel an aura that you wanted to make sure you could beat back in episode 8, I believe. The aura of a friend named Jhuls.
I raise an eyebrow, say to myself, Jhuls, your powerful aura is coming in handy.
And with that, we'll cut back to Jhuls. So are you trying to blend in with the crowd, or are you just going to go walk straight up to the steps if you can find it?
What I'd like to do, I have experienced smuggler. I don't know if I would really use it here, but what I want to do is like try to yoink someone's hat off and like put it on without them noticing.
Okay.
Kind of a sleight of hand type of thing.
Nice.
Like any kind of hat?
I mean, nothing overly obnoxious, but something that kind of maybe hides my appearance a little bit.
Okay. Roll me a perception check.
19.
So yeah, as you're watching these people bicker, you notice a lot of the Drake Knights have been drinking, which kind of makes you chuckle because it's literally like sunrise, and you're like, I feel like I'm back on a ship, There's lots of like rum bottles on the ground. And there's a lot of people just watching these two wannabe captains duke it out. One is a gnoll, and the other is a human, and they're just shoving each other back and forth. You look over and see a apparently passed out dwarf with a wide-brimmed hat holding a rum bottle up to his chest with his chin up against his shoulder, just sort of drooling down on himself, snoring.
All right, I'll walk up, and without even like really looking at him, I'll just pop his hat off and take it on and grab the bottle, and I'll walk up through the group up to the two guys fighting. I'll take a big swig of the jug, and I'll say, boys, listen, you're going about this the entirely wrong way. You're standing here fighting amongst you who is the captain, when really you should be asking yourselves, who's at the wheel?
All right, I definitely expected you to like avoid all confrontation with people, but can you roll me a diplomacy check?
Yes, but because I have versatile performance feat, I can use performance instead of deception.
Yeah, you can.
Perfect.
Do it.
And that, especially now that I'm level 3, is a 23.
Yeah.
Nice. So you see the human and the gnoll that were basically at each other's throats pause for a moment, and you instantly see on their expression like, who are you sort of thing, but then you can see them comprehending what you just said to them. They look at each other, and the gnoll goes, well, I guess whoever was steering the ship would be the... And the human goes, the captain. And they look at each other wide-eyed, look at you, and then bump into your shoulders as they race past you up the stairs, up to the poop deck. To go see who is steering the ship.
I'll watch them run off, and I'll say, "Aye, Captain," and then chug the rest of the bottle and throw it back on the dwarf's lap.
He goes, and then falls back asleep.
And then I'll look for the stairs to go below deck.
All right, yeah, so you know the layout of a ship well. This is a relatively small vessel, but it's kind of one you've seen before, and you know the general layout, so you know that below deck they usually do storage, common area, and if there is any jail cell, it would be below deck. So you find the stairwell, open the door, and starts to head down the stairs.
All right.
So Ryu, as Jhuls descends the stairwell, you can certainly feel his aura growing closer, and any doubt you had that it was truly his aura is gone, and you know for certain this is Jhuls.
As I start sensing Jhuls getting closer, I want to just start to feel around the cell, and just if there's anything in here that's like just some kind of object of something or other, it doesn't really matter.
You do remember at some point a guard came down and just slid some food into the cell with you, but out of your own pride you refused to eat it for a while, but you do remember that it is in there.
Okay, were there utensils or anything with this food?
You'd have to go check it out, man. You can't see.
All right. I sneakily go over and check out the food.
I kind of picture you just kind of like walking towards it and accidentally kicking it with your foot for a second.
I do, and I look over to the guard's aura to see if he stirs at all.
He's just kind of like orientated looking at you. Go on, eat it.
I just pictured him sneaking up on this bowl.
Just staring at you the whole time.
He's just watching.
It's for you
this
to
whole
eat.
time.
I'll reach down to the bowl. Is there any utensil or
Yeah,
anything
it's
with
just
it? Did it come
cracking
with
up.
a spoon or anything like that?
Yeah, you pick it up and realize there's a spoon inside a bowl.
I'm
You're
really
eating
some
role
role
play
play
right
right
now.
now.
Before.
Oh my gosh.
Just
I want
eat
to
it.
turn my back to the
Why are you
guard,
being secretive about it? Just eat your food.
and I want to try to sneak the spoon to the inside of my robe
Staring at you.
with my back turned so he doesn't see
All
what
right,
happening.
absolutely roll me like a thievery check.
I hope this isn't like as stupid as it's sounding right now.
I'm picturing this looking
I hope it is.
incredibly stupid.
All right, a
Which is the
thievery
best
check,
part.
you said.
Yeah.
This is Ryu's attempts to do deceptive stuff like Waltz, and he's doing his best.
Yeah.
I got an 11.
Oh, man. You go to like slide the spoon into your robes and then let go, and then it just drops down your robe and out the bottom of your robe and kind of clanks on the floor. And he's like, "What are you doing? You hold the spoon. What are you doing?"
I am going to do my best to channel my deceptive powers from what I've learned from Waltz and say, "Oh no, the source of my Erikai powers. I have to find it. I hope somebody else doesn't grab it before I can." And I start feeling around the ground.
The spoon? Roll me
What is
like
happening?
an incredibly high DC deception check.
My plan was for him to not really realize what I was doing.
Maybe
But I
you should
didn't
just
really
sit
think
out and wait
about
for Jules to show up.
I didn't really think about him just sitting there watching me the whole time.
He's like right in front of the cell.
All right.
My
What
picture
is
is like
source
some
of my
old, like,
Erikai
dude
powers?
who's just kind of like watching this whole thing, just kind of confused at everything he's doing.
Head tilted a little bit like a
Why
puppy.
you putting your spoon in your robe? You just dropped it on the floor.
All right, my deception's +0, so I got a 3.
Oh my gosh.
He's literally just shaking his head, watching you crawl around on the floor, trying to grab a spoon.
I just think to myself, God, I look like an idiot. How does Waltz do this?
This guy's literally thinking, he looks like an idiot.
I like turn my head over my shoulder to see if his aura's like changing at all.
No, he's staring right at you.
And I like go back to it. Shoot, where did it go?
It's right next to you. To the left. It's
I'll
like
grab
a
it.
foot to the left. Yeah, there you go.
Phew, I'm sure glad you didn't get this before I did. And I drop it on the floor again. Oh.
He's literally just like shaking his head back and forth. He's super confused on what's going on.
I give up on my plan and I think to myself that I hope to God Jhuls isn't seeing this.
What are you doing?
So, Jhuls, you descend into the lower deck of the ship. Can you roll me a perception check?
10.
All right. Yeah, so you just see a couple of Drake Knights playing cards with one another, drinking some rum, and then just various barrels throughout the ship, just general cargo stuff, but you don't really have any insight into what's there. And you kind of peer over your shoulder and then just see a little hall behind you. And you're very familiar with ships, and you know that the jail cell would likely be towards the rear.
Yeah, I'll head that way then.
All right, so you kind of about face, walk down the hall. You approach a door with a little peephole with just some bars across it, and feel like that is probably the door to the jail. And you hear on the other side of the door, "Oh no, the source of my power! I need this."
Oh no, they found his spoon.
Where did it go?
Yeah, I'll walk through the door. I guess I'll probably make sure it's open.
Yeah. Again, just astonished by how easy this has been for you. You just kind of turn the handle of the door and open it. What do you do?
I guess what do I see when I walk in?
You see Ryu on all fours,
You see
patting the
Ryu's
ground.
butt angled towards you on all fours, looking for a spoon, and then just like this kind of balding, older-looking human with a gut, just kind of with his head turned, looking confused, staring at Ryu's butt.
And I'm just mumbling to myself, God, this is so stupid.
And he kind of turns his head towards you, the guy in the chair. What? Is it your shift?
Yes. I was just coming to relieve you.
Oh, good. This one's, he's a little crazy. Thinks, the spoon's a source of his power or something.
All right. I'll look out for it. Thank you.
I stand up. Oh no, another Drake Knight to watch me, and I wink both eyes at Jhuls.
You're right. He is an odd one.
Yeah, the guy's just kind of staring with his mouth open, and then looks at you, like, yeah, have fun. Yeah, I don't know, keep an eye on him. Apparently he's pretty powerful or something. Could have fooled me. Can't even pick up a spoon. That laugh seemed forced.
What are you talking about?
It just
You're
didn't seem like
hilarious.
a natural laugh.
No, it was completely natural, I assure you.
Okay.
Quick, say something funny.
I'm not really the funny one on the ship. So, no.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Can't really put me on the spot like that.
Thank you.
Hold on, give me a second.
Yep,
Let me think.
Okay.
Let me think. Let me pull out my book of 67 pirate jokes that are sure to make you laugh. How do pirates know they are pirates?
I don't know. Please tell me.
They think, therefore they are.
Ha ha ha.
He looks at Ryu.
This one gets it.
Shut up! Hold on, I got a better one. Why don't pirates shower before they walk the plank?
Do tell.
Because, hold on, this one always gets me. Hold on, because they'll just wash up on shore later. It's so funny. It's so funny.
That's a great one.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you're too funny.
Oh, man, one of my best mates told me that one. Pretty funny.
Oh, how it makes my blood boil
Stop!
seeing two
Stop!
Drake Knights. Oh,
Ah! Don't let him talk.
I think you're wanted up on the poop deck.
Oh, okay. Did they ever figure out who's captain?
I think they're figuring that out. You were the final vote. You better hurry.
Oh, all right. I've never been the final vote for anything. How exciting.
Well,
Hold on, one more.
go.
Right, one more. Hold on. Hold on.
Okay, fine.
He's flipping through his book.
What is it?
What kind of... No, wait, hold on. No, so I'll get one. Hold on.
I cast sleep.
Oh, man.
That's incredible.
All right, what does he roll?
Will save.
All right.
He's got to beat a 19.
Oh, God.
That's so good. I'm so glad you did this.
He rolled a 15. So as he's flipping through the book, really excited, oh, this is the perfect... When he hits the ground, plops over. His book of 67 pirate jokes slides across the floor.
I thought he was never going to shut up.
Oh, Jhuls, you came just in time. Deception is difficult. I don't know how Waltz is able to do it so smoothly.
Well, he's got a big mouth.
I could have used it in this cell. I wasn't doing so well on my own.
Speaking of, what do you say we get you out of there? And I'll start patting dude I just put to sleep for the keys.
He's just drooling over himself. Pat him around a little bit. You find the cell keys, pull them out.
Let's try this one.
Stick it in the cell, turn the key. Door pops open.
Hey, first try.
Jhuls, how did you get here, and how do you plan to get out?
Smith? Smith.
What's a sniff?
I said Smith. Wait a minute. That's right. You haven't met Smith. Oh, yes, he's a hippogriff. He's waiting out back. We've got to hurry. But first, and then I'll take out his sword. I'm sure you're going to need this.
The true source of my power. I look back to the spoon.
Yeah, what the hell was all that about?
I'd prefer never to talk about this again, and I take my sword back.
Very well. One moment. I look back to the guy sleeping. What's he wearing?
Yeah, he's wearing a very flamboyant pirate shirt with the big poofy collar and some big old pirate boots.
I look him up and down. I'm not really seeing anything that'll work. I'll take my hat and just smush it on top of Ryu's head. Just try to stay close. Don't make too much noise. And then adjust my bandana a little bit, maybe pull it a little bit closer towards my eyebrows. All right, let's go.
I get what Jhuls is going for, and I kind of readjust the hat a little bit to pull him over my horns.
And we head up.
Okay, so you guys are just going to try and beeline it back to Smith?
Yeah, I'll probably, like when we're approaching the upper deck, I'll probably kind of poke my head out first just to see what's going on and see if there's like a clear path.
I'll place a hand on Jhuls' shoulder just for ease of guidance through here.
Yeah.
So as you're leaving the cell, you see the two Drake Knights that were playing cards. They look pretty preoccupied with one another. Care less what's going on behind them. You turn the corner, start to go up the stairs. You're up on the quarterdeck. You look up towards the poop deck, and you see the two captains that you sent up there. They're now arguing and fighting by the wheel.
I'm going to look towards the starboard side. Find a rope that is that's very taut and like holding maybe a sail or some vital piece of equipment.
Okay.
And I'd like to shoot a magic missile at the rope.
Okay. You can
So
absolutely
that is
do that,
another
yeah.
spell.
Mhm.
And I guess wait for the commotion to start and use that as kind of a ready action to lead us towards the back of the ship.
All right. You kind of peer over your shoulder a little bit, see what's going on. You see most of the attention is on the fighting captains, or wannabe captains. Shoot your magic missile at a rope. It singes the rope, causes it to snap, and you see one of the sails start to unfurl a bit and rock back and forth as one of the poles starts to swing inward, and a lot of commotion outbreaks. Go fix that rope! And then another captain's like, yeah, go fix that rope. I already told him to do that. No, I'm the captain. And they're shoving each other, and a bunch of people start running over towards this distraction you've made. What do you do?
All right, time to go. And I'll quickly, I imagine kind of like Jack Sparrow-esque, like not running, but just like shoulders up, like
Yeah, the trot.
just kind of just shuffling along, like do nothing to see here, towards the back, and hopefully not be seen.
Jhuls, I hope you know what you're doing.
All right.
Me too.
Roll me stealth checks, both of you, with a +2 circumstance bonus because of the distraction.
21.
14.
Come on, I'll take it.
All right. So, Jhuls, you're doing your little, like, Jack Sparrow, like, saunter over to the edge, and you peek over the rail and see Smith is hovering right there, and you're like, great, and you turn around to look at Ryu, and Ryu's just kind of walking, and then he bumps into one of the Drake Knights, and his hat falls off, and they make direct eye contact, and he goes,
Hey, wait a minute. Hey, this one's the Arakai, right here. Hey, he's out of the cell.
and then some of them start to look over from the commotion while the other ones are dealing with the distraction off in the distance.
I watch it, and I sock him in the face.
Okay. You're just gonna punch him?
Yeah.
All right, roll a punch attack. Unarmed strike.
6.
Alright. So he instantly like stepped away from you to go tell like other people what's going on, and you swing like he's directly in front of you and just kind of like punch the air.
Oh, crap. Jhuls, we gotta go.
I'll run up and just like shove the guy. Just dig my shoulder into him.
Alright, roll me a shove.
Uh-oh. That is a 9.
Oh my god, you guys.
So you run up to go shove him, and then right then Ryu is like gonna punch again, and then just kind of swings, and then you like realize you have to dodge his punch and kind of suck back, and then like miss your push, and then it's kind of things are starting to unravel a bit.
So seeing how things have unfolded, we may not make it out of here if we don't do something fast. So I'm just gonna grab Ryu's arm and start running towards the back of the ship. And as I'm running, I'll yell, "Smith!" And then, "Ryu, jump!
What? Jump?
Jump now!"
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Roll me a command and animal check.
Oh my gosh. 16.
All right, you run to the edge of the ship, jump off the railing, yelling out Smith's name as you leap out into the sea. You're holding on to Ryu's hand, and Jhuls, you land on Smith's back as Ryu kind of hangs off the side, and you hold on with your arm, and he drags along the water as Smith starts to ascend upwards, and you pull him up onto the back of Smith, and the two of you reunited soar and angle back towards the island of Nisserine. And that is where we'll end our session. Yes, bros.
Man, that was so cool.
Awesome.
Dude,
that was
the boys
epic.
are back in town.
We're back with
boys
at least
are
some of
back
the
in
party,
town.
but I don't want to hear you enjoy that yet. Because right now I just want you to shut up, because we're going to talk about
Okay,
how much
okay,
you
I'm
enjoy
sorry.
being reunited with someone in the party and playing Pathfinder with us again in the downtime, which is for patrons, where we react to the most recent episode and we dive into all the meta stuff, as character stuff, just all that.
Tell you
all
how
that
many
good stuff.
holes I
So-
have in my socks.
yeah, check it out. So yeah, I just want to thank the listeners for sticking with us this long, episode 18, I think. So thank you so
Woohoo.
much for doing that. And if you're still listening to the show and you haven't, we'd appreciate it if you gave us a good rating, because it really helps us out, algorithms, and people finding the show, and makes us feel good. So yes, please do that if you can. Thank you so much. And I would like to thank Taryn, who does all of our sound effects for the episode. So
Let's go,
all
Taryn.
the Smith screeches, all of the, picking up spoons on the ground. I'm sure there'll be a little noise for that. All kinds of random stuff. That's all Taryn, just bringing this story to life, putting you in the scene, taking it the extra mile, so you're not just hearing me, or I don't have to attempt to make sound effects or things like that. So thank you, Taryn, for sparing all of us from that. And I'd like to thank Adam, who does all of our original artwork for the show, which includes all of our character portraits, all of our social media presences, profile pictures, cover photos, episode promos, all that stuff, YouTube renders, session sketches. So maybe there'll be a cool sketch from this episode that the patrons vote on where it's like, I don't know, Jhuls on the back of the hippogriff with Ryu dangling behind, finally escaping. I don't know. Who sees? Or maybe they'll
excited
ask
for
to
this
put
one.
Ryu on all fours crawling around for a spoon because that's just also kind of funny. So who knows?
Whatever it is,
it
I'm
depends. That's what
excited.
the patrons vote on. That's what they want to see. And I would
East
like
for
to
fun.
thank Ryan, who does all of our original music. So yeah, whatever triumphant music plays when he frees Ryu, I don't know. I don't know, Ryan. I don't know what it's like to be you and get inside your head and listen to these episodes and figure out cool stuff to put music for. All I know is that I hear it and I love it, and you're the man. So thank you for making all of this handcrafted original music. We are not using license-free stuff, generic stuff, just turn it in. No. Ryan is making it with passion and with love, and we know that love makes everything better. So thank you, Ryan, for loving everyone that listens to the show and making original music. And I would like to thank Joel, who does all of our editing for vocals. So he cuts out all of the coughs and retakes, and it just makes it sound like a nice Stop coughing, Adam. Joel has to cut that out.
Sorry.
And then Joel was
I'll leave
about
that
to be able
one
to go
in.
to bed at like midnight, but now because you did that cough, he goes to bed at 1:30 a.m. So
Ah,
it's-
crap.
It just costs him an hour and a half. So yeah, thank
so
you,
sorry,
Joel, for making this just a nice, continuous, flowing stream of just tightly edited content. And that way, if the content's bad, it's our fault because we suck. It's not because of the editing. Because Joel makes us sound nice and good and clean. So thank you so much for doing that, Joel. We really
Look, I
appreciate
do.
it. Yeah.
I do as well as I can. There's only so much I can do to.
Hey, there's only so much you can do. Yeah. So Taryn has already said he tries to fart once per episode and get it past Joel. So sometimes farts get through the
See
cracks.
if you can find
Dude, that's
it.
a pun.
See if you can
Farts get
find
through
it.
the cracks, bro. Did you hear that pun? That's sick.
Put it in the 67 pirate joke book.
I was gonna say that was way funnier than any of the pirate jokes.
yeah,
here.
some of the farts get through the cracks. Yeah, I literally just Googled pirate jokes on the spot because I had nothing.
Oh, we
prepared.
know.
Anyway, yeah. So thank you so much for doing that, Joel, and we forgive you for the farts of Taryn that you don't catch because he's very sneaky about it. And once again, thank you, listeners, and we'll see you next time, mortals.
Man, I flubbed that thing.
Yeah, you sucked it up.
Towards the end there, I stopped remembering what words were.
Happens to the best of us.
Up my words all the time.
And it happens to the worst of us, obviously.
Ryan is on one tonight. Ryan ain't freaking around tonight.
Just kidding, Terry.
Get that smile off your face. This is serious. Zach's back.